announcement, someone took away the model and the stage application is about to crash, so please put it back on stage. Welcome again to the Inspiring Flow conference from all of TechDivision, and I hope you enjoyed all of it so far. The title you saw on the program is a bit misleading because actually this is just a small part of what I'm going to show you in the talk I'm giving you. Just to introduce myself shortly, I am Stefan, I'm the head of Type 3 at TechDivision, and I have been teaching web CMS with a focus on Type 3, XBase, Flow, and universities in Salzburg and also in Germany. I live in Bad Aibling, which is quite near, and I have a wife and I have a little dog that you might have seen. This is Samba, and she complained a bit about not getting a blue elephant, so I'm getting back to Stefan to ask him. TechDivision actually it is quite known for its Magento systems, and it's what we've been doing with Magento, but we actually have been started with Type 3 much earlier in around 2004, and then came Magento and then came Flow. TechDivision is right across the river. It's the tall red building. We are on the left side, and we are planning to march through the building and break through the end of the here on the right side by, I think, end of the year. Not just kidding. We have 45 employees at this time, and you know Sasha, he's our business developer. You know for sure Stefan Regniet, our CEO. They have been giving many talks at conferences. We opened an office in Munich in February. Sasha. Sasha is the office lead of the Munich office, and we do big Scrum projects up there. We have a nice pool, and we will have a party, an opening party, sometime around May, June, and you will for sure get an invitation for that. TechDivision has been working agile for some years. We have many certified Scrum Masters and product owners. We are Magento Gold partner, Type 3 Gold member, and have some other certifications as well. And actually, the contact to Stefan Regniet somewhat arise. We had a workshop in TDD with him, which we think about as was very great. We are planning to implement TDD for all of our customer projects this year, and this is quite exciting. Now, what we have been doing with Flow just a second, we have the eStrategy magazine. Stefan put in this slide as well.
Sorry for that.
No problem. eStrategy is our online e-commerce magazine with about 10,000 subscribers, and you can go on estrategy-magazine.de and you can subscribe if you haven't done so far. It's for free. Now, what we have been doing with Flow. We had a big project last year doing with Flow, and this is what you saw on the title, implementing a web service backend for an international location-based service. And this were our most experienced developers doing this project. This was quite fascinating. They have been working with Magento for years, and now we're able to use Flow. They were quite fascinated and had some good piece of software, so and they had fun developing. And also, Felix held the XBase talk just right now, and XBase is also something we consider is very important as an offspring from the Flow project, and we have had many benefits from it, and all the ease for the developers and getting into Flow and typo-free very easily. So what we did was a ride-sharing application. The ride-sharing application enabled mobile app users to, well, one user wanted to go from here to there, and there was maybe another user who took almost the same way, so we calculated this and looked which rides matched best and put them together and sent a message out. So the whole middleware was Flow and Flow-free back then, and we it looked like this. So the architecture was, we had the app, the app was not ours, so this was a third-party company. We had the REST web service in Flow. We had a message queue, which was ActiveMQ. We had built a Stomp daemon who worked on the message queue via the Stomp protocol. And we had Flow with a MySQL database. And at last we implemented the Apple push service. I'm gonna tell you that, how that worked. We had a request coming in, and it went into some request queue. And the Stomp daemon was always working and looking for what was in the queue, and was dispatching it to a geo service who enriched it with geodata, so we knew where the ride started and where it should end. So we calculated the best ride for that and put it into the database. And the next thing we had was a ride service, and the ride service was always calculating the best matching rides in the database. And as soon as it had found some, it would put it into a notifications queue. And that went on. We had a notification service who pulled it out, or who got it from the Stomp daemon and put it into the Apple push service, and this would go to the app, and this is where I just hook in shortly. One reason why I can show you much of this is because we have an NDA and we couldn't get quite around this. The other thing was that unfortunately, before the app was launched, it was stopped. The whole project was stopped. This was due to legal problems that actually couldn't be really solved. So it was stopped and it's not running. I would love to show you the final app and how it worked, but this is not possible. And maybe someday in the future they come back to it. Now, the app could confirm, it was put into a confirms queue and so on. So this was basically how the architecture was. It was quite amazing, and we had fun with it. And I didn't develop in this project. I was the Scrum Master, but I saw some things and helped on some points, but I didn't actually develop on it. Now, then in October last year, Neos came out, and this was a further point where our developers got interested, namely Matthias, who unfortunately has a quite sore throat, otherwise I would catch him onto the stage. So we started developing with Neos and Flow and everything. So Matthias started to have his own blog, which is matthiaswitte.net. Maybe you might have seen it. And then he started to work on a Kanban board on Flow-based Kanban, where you have rows where you have swim lanes, we can have issues that walk through the process. And this was quite nice. This was just a test project for him to see how it all worked out. Then we had the conference website, which we did on Neos, which was very interesting to work on. It was the first website to being put online and to have editors working with it. The developers liked it, I think. The editors didn't, but anyway. We put this website online, and we had Markus Biesel, who had been working for half a year now on another Neos project with many plugins he wrote, and this was the knowledge base. We put that online just on Thursday, just as a demo application. As I didn't know if the Wi-Fi works in here, I have just a short screencast what you can do in there. You can register. Then you can log in, of course, in the front end. You can write some comments. We have a little forum with, you can create a thread. Then we have a file sharing base where you can upload some files and download it, and you can rate everything in there. So it's a small community we built on this. And here the view helper package. All sorts of widgets and whatnot. You can edit your profile, add electronic addresses, remove them, just the things Flow can do, and now with Neos plugins and some Neos content elements like Google Map or Twitter Bootstrap stuff like Scrolls By or Twitter Carousel. So we implemented all this. This is just a demo stuff which is not quite evolved and not in a final state, but we decided to put it online that you can just have a look at it at knowledgebase-neos.com. You can just register yourself, you can log in, you can just try out. I think you can download some code and just have a look. So this is what we did, and now I'm coming to another thing, but I have to take some water first. Now back to Flow. We had something for our developers. We had a coding contest where the developers could win an iPad or Galaxy or what they wanted. And Matthias then decided to develop a Flow application, of course. And he was excited for a Solar search. And he started coding the Solar search. But then we had the workshop, the test-driven development workshop with Stefan Regniet, and then he threw all the code away. He had coded quite something, and then he threw it away and started to recode it TDD style. He started on weekends. He banned his girlfriend, and he had quite some weekends working on it. And when I asked him, Matthias, what should I tell about this search? He said, okay, as long as you say at least 10 times it's awesome, it's just all you need to say. Now, so it's an awesome tool. what we plan is something like this, to take Google and put it onto Flow, make it a Flow application. I think best is I show you something that it does first, and this is the following, just a second. So we have Solar running here so that you can see what happens in there, and we have Flow running in this window. And we have a command line controller, of course. And first of all, we're gonna put in some content. So we say, this would update all nodes and put it into the Solar index. And now we can search. Some term that is quite common in Neos, which is defaced. Oh yeah, it finds one thing. So this is actually what it does. It just puts something into an index, which is at the moment Solar, but doesn't have to be. It's very clean, so you have an interface that you can implement with your own provider if you like. And we have, of course, a Neos plugin for that, because Flow in itself doesn't provide any information to index when there's no application running. So we use this application. Here we have a Solar plugin, search plugin. That's the Neos search. We can just insert as a plugin, and this just works the same. So see, this is the result. This is quite amazing because it does work and it's all very clean, and it's something that you can really use. And the main part of it, you have real reusable code, and this is also what Stefan told today, that you, as long as you keep to APIs and use them and have clean units and testable units, you have reusable code, of course. So now the coolest feature, I think, is due to one of Flow's main features, which is AOP. And you always have the problem when you have some search engine running that you get the content into the index in time and regularly, and you just do it here by AOP. See, when I write some content and publish the page. Maybe I'm not logged in. Ooh. This is interesting. Yeah, of course. Okay, now when I publish the page, you haven't seen that, maybe I do it again in a smaller window. See here in the background, when I publish the page, it runs into the index. And this is cool because you don't need any crawlers or any cron job running, just goes into the index in time. You always have an updated index. Did I mention that it's awesome? So Some words on the architecture. Or maybe, because we just had it, I'm going to show you the aspect. This is the aspect that does the job. They have the needed annotations where to use the aspect, and then it updates the document in the index. So this is all the magic, and this is because there is AOP. Now back here, the architecture is quite easy. We have a search provider which is Solr but can be anything you like, as long as you implement it. You have a Neos package. You have a flow package, and now you have to communicate. You can do it either via the PHP extension, but I think there's some, it's not that easy because it's only up to 3.6. Maybe there's a patch to it. Okay, fork. But there is a REST client coming with the flow package, which is enabled by default. So this one is used, and you can use it and don't have to compile your PHP or whatever. Use the REST client to communicate. We have 100% test coverage for the plugin, and we have two packages, the search package and the Neos search package, and we have the full test coverage for everything. We had, or Matthias wrote, functional tests, and but unfortunately the underscore original classes and the reflection were removed, so we couldn't do the functional tests anymore, but I think this is being worked upon. And he even found some nice code in the code coverage, because this is actually just a comment, and this leads to untested code. The search backend works this way. You have the search, check that one. You have the search plugin, the flow search plugin. You have a provider interface. There are the providers, the REST client and the PHP extension, and you can implement your own provider and your own package if you like. And then in the Neos search plugin, you can just, in the objects YAML, choose your provider. Just write which provider you want to use, and that's it. And they have your own implementation running with it. Say you want to use Elasticsearch or just MySQL or whatever. You can implement your own result or document factories if you like. There are also according interfaces which can be then configured in the objects YAML. And this is pretty cool, and this leads to very clean, structured architecture. The configuration, what goes into the index and how it is valued and how it is boosted maybe. This is now Solr configuration, of course, but you can write in your settings YAML, you can write your scheme. What do you want? What from the type 3 content repository, which nodes map to which types in your index, and what should go into the index, how it is boosted document-wise, field-wise. You can like give your one field, the headline or the title, higher boost so that it appears first. We have been using, just a short note on deployment, we have been using Apache Ant for quite some years now, and there's a full Ant script in it where you can have a local instance initted with, I think, init instance, which installs via Composer, which I think has to be installed globally. You can just build your application which gets everything you need and installs your environment and installs your packages, and maybe you just have to clear the cache and go ahead. These are the URLs. I will put the slides online, at least on inspiringflow.com, and you will find where you can get them. And all this is on GitHub, so you can just have a look at it. You can take it from GitHub and install it and try it. I think this is quite some cool use and quite some software that you can that might be of value to Flow and Neos, and I hope it will be used. You are invited to work on it, to write an email, to give some comments, to work on it, whatever you like. So this is what we did with Flow, and that's about it. I think I'm a bit early, but thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, and I hope we see you all next year again. And if you have any questions to it, do we still have some time for questions if there are any?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So, any questions? Not really? Okay. No problem, because Matthias can't speak anyway. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.